Let's see if Matt has a question.
Hey, Aaron, how's it going?
Hey, Matt, good to see you.
Hey, thanks. You too, man. Hey, so I'm just getting started in this. So this might be kind of an elementary question for some of you guys that have been in this for a while, but so, I get it that the ego is not an entity, but more like a program, right? So who am I? Who is Matt? Who is the personality? Who is the one that likes what I like and dislikes what I dislike? And is that ego, or is that something else? I understand that there's this, that I am, right? Well, what does that look like, and how is what makes me me? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love seeing this kind of reflection happening in someone. It's beautiful to watch. So the nature of the mind is total emptiness. Emptiness, like a cave is empty, and you shout something into the cave and it echoes, 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 echoes. And you're like, who's saying all the echoes? They keep repeating the same thing. Who is it in there? It's sort of like that. So we talked about in module 1, you've done module 1 so far?
I'm in it. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe in the worksheet, one of the first things that it says in module 1's worksheet is the ego is the mental activity of identifying. So nothing is ego outside of the identification with it. Likes, dislikes, personality, physical, like your personality is no more the ego than your physical body is.
Okay.
Like, did the ego create how your physical body looks? Like, no, the ego came after the physical body, right? Ego came as a consequence of the mind slowly identifying with objects. The first one it identified with was the body, but then it just keeps adding more items to itself and collecting this sense of self that grows with time. You know, the more experiences we have, there's this long train of personal history. And you're like, well, look how much personal history I have. Of course, I, the ego, exist. I experienced it. So when you say, like, who am I? That's the question to ask, because whatever you point to, you can't say I'm that, right? Like, name an object you can really say with full conviction, yes, I'm definitely that object. You find it all is silly. Of course I'm not.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the path of self-inquiry, for that reason, is not trying to discover what I am. Like, don't try to find a conceptual answer to who am I, because whatever the mind says is that's not it. But just keep getting rid of what you know you're not, which is whatever the mind says you are. And in the same token, then, as you're negating what you're not, refusing to be what you're not, as we talked about with Ray just now, just be the silent answer to who am I. Like, don't try to answer it. Let it be a mystery. Let it be a very curious question, because the curiosity will drive you to real self-discovery.
Sorry, I'm taking notes.
No, it's good. Like a good student should. So what does that spark for you?
I think that what it sparks for me is that it's an answer, or it's a question that I don't have to answer. It's like a perpetual, it will always be something that is just there, I guess.
Imagine yourself in 6th density, like Ra, you know, orbiting through the cosmos and just asking, who am I?
I can't. I can't imagine that.
Like, even then you'll be asking it.
Right. Even then I would be, right. Okay.
Right. Even then you wouldn't be like, oh, let me tell you who I am. I'm a 6th density social memory complex. You know. You're a total mystery. You're more and more a mystery to yourself, the more free you become. And that's what you want. The joy, the peace, the love, the happiness is in the mystery, not in the certainty. The certainty is suffering. I know for sure. Ah, you're fucked.
Wow. Okay. And then, if it's okay, this concept of I'm not the body, okay? Yet this body is the only means I have to experience life, or this reality. And this word non-doership I keep hearing. I'm trying to wrap my head around who's the guy that does, I mean, somebody doesn't do the fucking dishes, they're not going to get done, you know? If somebody's not out in my shop getting furniture done or worked on, then it's not going to happen. I think I've heard or read somewhere something about chop wood and carry water. Is that part of it? Is that what it looks like? Just, I don't know. I'm a little muddy on this. I don't even know what I'm asking.
Yeah, you're asking good questions. Let's take it back to the Buddha's definition. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the first teaching on non-doership ever. Events happen and deeds are done, but there is no individual doer thereof.
Okay.
So what does that spark for you?
Events happen and deeds are done, but there is no individual doer thereof. It's like things are just happening. Things are just happening, and
that's it, man. It's so simple, we totally miss it.
It's really that simple? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it really is. Enlightenment is frustratingly simple, man. It's the story of the Zen farmer who collects every book in the land about enlightenment, trying to discover enlightenment. It says on the day he achieved enlightenment, he took all the books into the yard and burned them. Because he realized it was so simple, I never needed any of these damn books. They just kept me on this wild goose chase to see something that was always right in front of my face.
So the answer to life really is things are just happening.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's why God laughs.
What's that?
I said that's why God laughs, because it's so incredibly simple and we just complicate the hound out of it. And as soon as you recognize how simple it is, I mean, literally, like, what else is there to do but laugh?
Wow.
I've spent my whole life thinking I was like turning the gears of reality and making it happen. Oh, this is so hard. Oh gosh, being a person is so exhausting. Oh, these gears are so rusty. And then you realize you were never turning the gears of reality. You've just been doing nothing at all. It's all happening by itself. Reality has no gears. Like you're one of the gears. Like the gears are turning you. That's the joke.
Huh. Okay. Oh yeah. So it just makes me think of all the stuff I've gotten caught up in, you know, my whole life, like religion and even and then transitioning to like law of attraction stuff where you're like, I'm manifesting this, or I'm doing this, or I'm the one that's doing all that, you know. And I'm like, man, that's a bunch of, I just don't know if that's a thing, you know.
At a certain level of understanding, it's a great teaching because it asks the doer who's absolutely certain they're the doer. It says, okay, yes, you're the doer. You can manifest anything you want. Oh, wow, how empowering. It says all you have to do in order to manifest it is not be attached to it, you know, to not try to control it, but let it happen. You know what I mean? And then suddenly through enough law of attraction, you do start to realize like, oh yeah, I'm me, an independent self. I'm not manifest. Like when people ask me about how does non-doership coincide with law of attraction, you know, aren't they in opposition to one another? Like, do you since you know you're not the doer now, do you not want to manifest anything? Do you not have a desire to manifest anything? And it's like, I can't really say yes or no, because it's more like my experience right now is I am manifesting the whole universe. So it's like, where's desire in that? You know what I mean? Like when you get rid of desire, you realize you have the feeling everything belongs to me already. Everyone's experience is my experience because I'm everyone. And you actually feel into it. And the joy you see others have just becomes your own joy. Like you just become a mirror to everything. And it's like, yeah, how can I desire something when I'm overflowing with abundance?
So as we make decisions, you know, from, you know, just every day we make a bazillion decisions. And in some days we make major ones that seem to steer the direction of our life. And is it that we're just following a script, I guess, without realizing it? It's like, I'm not the one who's making this happen, but somehow it was already determined that I was going to make the decision that I'm about to make, or just made, or something like that. And I'm just kind of, life is happening with me having the illusion that I'm the one that's doing it.
Well, there's nobody who can follow, there's nobody who can follow a script because there's no individual doers, right? So it's like you're on the right track in that line of thinking, but take it a step farther, and just keep taking it all the way until you have no more questions.
Okay.
And so, you know, what's the next question we could ask? Am I following a script? Am I a puppet on a string and God is puppeteering me?
Okay.
Well, right. Where would the puppet have come from? Where would the strings have come from? God, God, God. You know, you always go back to there's just that. And so the recognition is always, I am that. So it's not that there's no person who gets controlled and puppeteered on a string. There's no puppets, you know, the divine will is happening everywhere. I am that. So that's why you have the experience of everything is my will. When you get rid of the doer, you don't experience like, well, I'm just this character stuck in a reality where I'm not doing anything. It's absolutely the opposite. It's everything I experience gives me another touch of reality, another glimpse, another experience of my infinite nature. It's like, if I am infinite, then all I'm doing is experiencing myself in a new way forever. This endless self-discovery, this immensity of experience just becomes me. It's always just me in another form. And that's why we talked about in the beginning, right? The universe never came into being because it's not outside the creator. It is the creator. Like this glass of water is the creator. This conversation is the creator trying to peck its way out of the eggshell and wake up to reality, right? We're in the process of awakening. And when we awaken, we have no more questions. But as long as there's a question, keep asking, keep seeking, because the question is the evidence that true self-discovery hasn't fully happened yet. So we just keep pecking at the eggshell.
Does true awakening actually happen? Or is it?
Matt, you're asking some damn good questions today, bro.
I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna let you go.
No. This is great. This is fantastic. Repeat your question again. Does awakening ever happen?
Are we chasing after something that is it like trying to catch the horizon? You know, it perpetually eludes us, you know, trying to obtain awakening, right? This thing that seems to be the goal, the end game, if you will. But really it's just perpetual self-discovery. Or is it, I mean, it seems like, I don't know, maybe this thing we call awakening, this thing we call enlightenment is something we'll never really actually get. It's something that we're always, I don't know, going
Yes,
for.
we, the person, never get it, because enlightenment is the recognition of a mirage. So when someone realizes the mirage is not there, can we say that the disappearance of the mirage happened? No, not really, right? Even that's not totally accurate. Is a shift in perception happened, and it revealed reality, which was always that. There never was a mirage there. It's not that the mirage disappeared. It can't disappear. It never came into being. It's a misperception of reality. So the ego is a misperception of reality, and it just disappears when we see it's not real. And so what happens upon that seeing is you just stop chasing after the mirage.
Okay.
There's no water.
Got it. And I think I maybe heard you say once before, thinking you see a snake in the road, and then as you get closer to it, you realize that it's just a piece of rope, and you're like, all the fear that you had about there being a snake is gone. All the, okay.
Yes. And did it really go? Like, it was never really there in reality, right?
It was never there. Yeah. Okay.
It was just ignorance.
Yeah.
So enlightenment doesn't happen because reality always is, right? And enlightenment's just the seeing of reality as it is. So it's more like a dream. We said this to somebody earlier. The separate self you used to believe you becomes just like a dream you had. Because think about it, right? When you think about your memories from the past, they appear to you just like dreams from the past, right? When you think about a memory, it's very dreamlike in its nature. It's like, oh, did it really happen? I mean, it feels like it almost feels like it didn't happen. I was just plopped into this body at this moment, and I'm just retaining the memories this body has had. You know what I mean? It feels more accurate almost to say it that way. And that's because it is the same thing. Like, your dreams never really happened in the same way that your waking state memories never really happened, because it's all just transient. Like, everything is just appearing and disappearing. The world of form has no permanence to it. So that's why the Advaita teachers say it's not real, it's Maya, it's an illusion, which doesn't mean it's not sacred and divine. It means it is a mirror. It's like a mirror popping up, and it's just reflecting the one source to itself, giving it a new taste of what it is. And so you just say, thank you for that experience. Thank you for that experience. But you don't grab onto the mirror and try to keep it. You stare at yourself, because that's attachment. Reality wants to ever evolve and unfold, and it wants you to be in flow with it. And that's where happiness is found, is being in that flow. The person can't be in the flow. Person's the absence of the flow. It's the one that clings and pushes against life and resists and attaches and all these things.
Right.
So it's always running after the mirage.
Chasing the horizon. Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
What do you do the moment you realize the mirage isn't there? Just practically.
Oh, it's just a realization that what I thought was there wasn't, you know?
Well, like, physically speaking, in your body, you're in a sprinting motion. You really believe there's a huge lake just over the, peak of the next sand dune.
You stop wasting energy. You stop wasting attention on it. You just stop running. And why would I put forth effort why would I stop putting effort towards something that I know doesn't exist?
Bingo. You stop running.
Right.
You just stop. And we call that silence.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Very good.